What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk breaking into the video today. And today, the Houston Astros have beat the St. Louis Cardinals 14-0. And this is an amazing day for the Astros. I know the Astros are there's been a couple times, I think either once or twice this season, that I feel like I'm not too positive on this, but I think there was one game that the Astros, that 10-run curse that the Astros have, that whenever they score 10 runs in a game, the next game they cannot score more than 3 runs in the next game. I feel like there was one game this season for the Astros that they were able to score more than 3 runs. I feel like I can't remember who it was against, but I think the Astros this is not the first time the Astros have broke the 10-run curse this season, but it is like the second. But the Astros, who have a 10-run curse, are not able to score more than 2 or 3 runs after scoring 10 runs or more. The previous game scored 14 runs today after scoring 10 yesterday. The last 2 games, 29 hits. The last 2 games, 24 runs. Absolutely unbelievable. I know it's against the Cardinals. They're last in their division, one of the bottom teams in the MLB. The Astros still really played really good in these last 2 games. They were hitting the last 2 games of the series. Were hitting the ball really well. The only problem is, huge. You might be a little tired going into tomorrow's series. Going up against a Rangers team after just scoring 24 runs and 29 hits in the last 2 ball games. So I think the Astros might have just played a little bit too much today, to the point where hopefully they're not just completely wiped out tomorrow, and when tomorrow's series start out against the Rangers. Because with this win and the Rangers losing today, we're 5 games back. We're 5 games back behind the Rangers for first place, and we're starting a 4-game series. So there's some momentum. If you play well in this series, and coming off scoring almost 15 runs in a game and playing them tomorrow, that's not a good sign, especially when we scored 10 runs the previous game. So, hopefully pitching can show up for the Astros tomorrow in tomorrow's matchup. I think Ronald Blanco's on the mound, and I don't know, it depends on what kind of Ronald Blanco we're going to get. And on his last start, he was just absolutely amazing, lights out for the Astros. But there's been a couple other starts he's had where he's been terrible. So if we can get the Ronald Blanco that pitched lights out, only giving up, was it 2 or 3 hits in 6 innings against the Dodgers, that would be amazing. But maybe we get the other Ronald Blanco that gives up home runs and gives up runs and struggles. But hopefully we get the Ronald Blanco that had an amazing start last Saturday against the LA Dodgers tomorrow night. Let's go over this game, though. The Astros win 14-0, 18 hits for the Astros, 4 for the Cardinals, 0 errors in the ball game. Win goes to J.P. France. He's 3-3 on the season. Loss goes to Adam Wainwright. He's 3-3 on the season. And scoring summary: Altuve hits an RBI single in the second inning. The Astros would score 6 runs in the second inning, and then would score 3 in the 6th, and then would score 1 in the 8th, and then 4 in the 9th. Altuve, RBI single to get things started. Joke scored. Pena to second, 1-0. Tucker single to center. Tucker single to center. Altuve and Pena scored. Bregman to third. Those were Tucker's first 2 RBIs of a 5 RBI night. And then Jose Abreu would end the second inning, or not. This would be, the inning that would just keep the Astros, I think, on fire the rest of the night. Abreu would have hit an RBI double to left. Bregman scored, and Tucker scored it to 5-0 down the line, double for Abreu. And then Yainer Diaz would crush one that almost got out, a double to center. Abreu would score, and it would be 6-0. And then the 6th inning, Kyle Tucker would crush one almost 450 feet, 447 feet to score Altuve and Bregman to make it 9-0. Then Jolks would hit an RBI single to right. Myers scored, Greg Kistner to third, and it's 10-0. And then Alex Bregman. How about Breggy, man? Bregman would hit his 3rd grand slam of the season and his 7th grand slam of his career. Bregman is like a different person when he's at bat with the bases loaded. Bregman's like, he's like 18 for 21 in his career or something like that with the bases loaded. And he has I think it's something like that, if not a little bit, not that far off. And he has like a 380 or 300, something like that, and then 380 to 390 batting average with the bases loaded in his career. And Bregman's shown it this year. I know Bregman, he grounded out last night with the bases loaded, but tonight he hits a grand slam, his third grand slam of the season, his seventh of his career. So that was great to see for Alex as he hits the grand slam to make it 14-0. Astros batters in this game, Altuve was 1 for 2. He did walk twice. He walked in the third and sixth inning, and then had an RBI single in the second inning. Then it was replaced by Mauricio Dubon. He had 2 at-bats, hit a single to center in the ninth inning to get the bases loaded. McCormick to second and Pena to third. Dubon would have 2 at-bats in this game, replacing Jose Altuve as a pinch hitter. Alex Bregman would stay in the whole game and would have 6 at-bats, a first-inning single, going 3 for 5, a first-inning single, a second-inning walk to get the bases loaded in the second inning, a third-inning ground out, a sixth-inning single to right, and then a ninth-inning grand slam. Would go 3 for 5, score 3 runs, and have 4 RBIs for Alex Bregman today. There you go. Alex Bregman was on fire today. Kyle Tucker was 2 for 3 in this ball game. He's been on fire this whole series, and he continues it. Second inning RBI single to score 2 runs, gets a fourth inning walk, and then a three-run home run in the sixth inning for Kyle Tucker. Then Jake Myers was 1 for 2 in this ball game. Did Jake? Yeah, I think Jake was a pinch hitter for Tucker in this game. Had an 8th inning double and a 9th inning ground out. Jose Abreu was 1 for 3 in the ball game. Had a first inning walk and then a second inning double, and then was 0 for 2 in his next 2 at bats. Ray Kistner would replace him at first base, have 2 at bats. He would walk in the 8th inning and struck out in the 9th inning. Yanner Diaz had all 6 of his at bats today, a double to score an RBI in the second inning, scoring Abreu, another double in the 6th inning, and a 9th inning single. 3 for 6 for Yanner Diaz in this ballgame, having 1 RBI. Corey Julks also had 3 hits in this ballgame. He was one of three players in the lineup for the Astros today to have 3 hits. Alex Bregman, Corey Julks, and Yanner Diaz. Julks would have a second inning single, a 5th inning walk, a 8th inning RBI single, and then a 9th inning infield single. Bly Madrid, after a really solid day yesterday, struggled for the Astros. Yesterday, he had a double, he had a single. I think he even had a walk as well. His first at-bat, he had a walk, but besides that, he went 0 for 5 in this ballgame. So, not that good of a day for Bly Madrid. Jeremy Pena was 2 for 5 in this ballgame. He had a single to center in the 3rd inning, and he had an infield single in the 9th inning as well. And he also scored 2 runs. Chas McCormick was 1 for 5. His only hit of the day came in the 9th inning with a single to left that got Pena to second. Besides JP France today, he got the win, pitched 7 innings, only gave up 4 hits and 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. And then Rafael Monteiro was pretty decent for the Astros today. I'm not going to give this guy any praise because he's been terrible this season, has a 7.29 ERA, but was solid in a game where the Astros were kicking butt. So it's not that impressive just because the Astros were up like 9 or 10-0 when he came in. I think the Astros were up 9-0 when he came in, but eventually as he would continue on to pitch, they would be up 14-0. It's not that impressive just because of the fact that this guy was pitching in a game where the Astros were kicking ass. But I will say I'm glad he was used for 2 innings in a game where the Astros were kicking butt, to the point where that means he's most likely not going to be used tomorrow, and most likely probably not going to be used on Saturday either. So I'm glad we used him today where we were just kicking the Cardinals' asses. Instead of a game where it's a close game, we're barely down or we're barely up, where Dusty puts him in the stupid 7th or 8th inning where we're in no position to put Rafael Monteiro in. So he was used for 2 innings. That was a good sign. He only pitched 16 pitches, but most likely that means Monteiro is not available for the Astros in the first 2 games of the series for the Rangers series, and that is a very good thing. You guys, let me know your thoughts on the game from today as the Astros beat the Cardinals 14-0 to finish off this series, get the series win, And now they're 5 games back from the Rangers and start off an important series against the Rangers tomorrow. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and peace out.